around, okay? And see how like just relaxing your foot, not digging your foot is what we want. Because I want him to come off of that just pressure, right? If we're digging our foot, he's not gonna come off the pressure very well.
Okay.
So see how he's walking a big circle?
Yeah.
So right now, in order to isolate his hip, you gotta take his head a long way, right? Take his head a long way to the inside, yep. And then add your foot, hold your foot, just hold your foot. There you go. Holding your foot, and you can tap this right one, just softly tapping, yep.
Motion.
Perfect. Then when you feel him kind of like come up and off that leg, just drop out and pet him, okay? There you go. Good, and then just release and kind of walk out and give him a little break. So when you start this, we want his hip moving away from our leg, right? That's the very beginning. So like grade school level, hip coming off of our leg, just move away from the pressure, right? As he gets better at this, what you're gonna do is transition it away from moving away from the pressure to moving with the pressure, right? So right now it's just moving away from the pressure, the hip goes around sideways, there you go, and then get out. And just go like 1-2 steps, that's all you need.
Okay.
Right? Just 1 or 2 steps, drop out, ask again. Because I don't want him to get frustrated. I don't want him to get upset through the maneuver, because then you won't be able to do as many of them as you'll need to teach him really what he has to do, right? Just hold your foot, just hold it. Hold it, just hold it. Just steady with it. Just put your spur on and just hold it on. There you go. And then tap this one and cluck if you don't have movement. There you go. Good, and then release. Good, so that left leg is stepping underneath of you, right? So when you're working on this, we're working on a right lead right now. Just working on one side. Come up. We want the ability to press with our outside leg and get that hip to step underneath of us. So that's the first thing that's gonna happen, right? So watch me for a sec. If you think about what's going on underneath of you, first thing your leg's gotta do is be able to take his hip and do this with it. Move it to the inside, all right? You see that leaves this leg out behind us. So then what you've gotta do next, because you're using his neck over here to push this over, if you leave his neck that far, his next step's gonna be like this. Do you see how that's sideways around the arena?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine like this is my rail. This is my lope line right here that I'm gonna be making. All right, so I'm loping this way. Remember, they steer their stifle in their shoulder. So right now what you're doing is you're riding the line like this, right? We're teaching him how to lope in position. So right now, you pull his head, step that hip underneath of it. Now his stifle's lined up right here, right? If I continue to pull his head, I'm gonna get this.
Yep.
It's a loping sideways. So what you really want is you want him to be able to go from here, where he's just like in the middle of the line, to press your foot, push this here, and then all the other rub and roll gets him to go this way.
Okay.
All right? So that's why I'm saying just steady pressure with your foot, because you are gonna roll your spur. It's just gonna be down the road when this becomes a high school, college level maneuver, where rolling my foot makes him go this way on the line.
Okay.
All right? Because I don't want to be digging and attacking, because I'm just gonna do this and push him sideways. All right? So the only time you're gonna roll that foot and ask for more is when A, he comes off your spur really well. So when you apply pressure and he just holds this over here. All right? That's gonna put this leg over here. Then, by then, you're gonna be leaving his neck more in the middle. So then you can roll this foot and he's gonna go this way onto the line. Because if he went that way further, you have a button on this side with this leg to say, don't go sideways, step up. All right? So that's why we tap this leg, is to keep things from going sideways. Yep, so that we can get him to come here and here. Because that's where his next step's gotta be, is up here. All right? So it's gonna be, you start out right now, this is your shape, this is where you're headed, right? You're gonna pull his head around to get his hip underneath of you. Everything else, the next step is gonna come from this leg saying step forward. Okay? That'll give you the ability to keep him between both feet and lope right here. That make sense?
Yep.
So, in the beginning, you're gonna have to take his head really far over. Make sure you go to your foot first to let him tell you what he does off your foot. Because if you go to your hand first, he's gonna learn to push his hip this way because your hand pulled his head that way. So then his two ends are always gonna be running away from each other. That make sense?
Yeah.
So like you're walking along, you're gonna go to your foot first, see what he does. If he does this, you don't ever need to go to your hand. You can stay right here, right?
Yep.
What he's more likely to do is you're right here and you're walking along and you go to your foot, he's gonna go this way. You go forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Swing over, then you add the hand.
Then you add the hand. Because you say, no, you're not supposed to go that way. What about if we make you go that way? All right? Until you can go to your foot, go to your, it's just gonna be like when you're loping your horse, the actual shape, like this part, should be just your calf, really.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to be like working to get this. If I wanted this, I would work. Right? I would put a lot of pressure on if I want him to be way over. But if I want just like this balanced position, that should be just my calf resting on it. All right? So like when I lope, I don't want to work hard to get here. Right? I want to work hard to get here. Yep. So take his head to the side to capture him up so he can't go forward. And then you're going to tap this leg real soft, and then you'll start shuffling your hands to get him to come into this position and move up into it. All right? That's why I say you just go for like 1 or 2 steps over. All right? Just get his hip underneath of him and get him to move forward and relax, and then just walk into it and then release.
Okay.
All right? So that way it's not like he's getting beat up for the hip around move, because you don't need it that far over. It doesn't have to go that far. Right? There you go. So if he's just wandering and not coming off your foot, you're going to have to take his neck further. Right? So he's going to tell you, I'm not ready for straight, so I got to go back to grade school. Just hold this foot. Just hold it. There you go. There you go. Good. And then catch and come towards me. Good. So when you push, go ahead and push. Push it around. Go to your foot. See what happens. Then pull his head. Pull wide. Make sure you stay working wide. All right. So you're coming around. There's his hip coming around. Hold your foot. Hold your foot. Hold your foot. Hold it. Push it around. Now look at me and catch over here. And now move up here with his hip under you. There you go. And see, that's a lot of this leg.
Yeah.
Okay. Because everything's going to want to keep going that way. Right. Yep. So that's why you use this leg now. And that's why this leg has to stay on. Right. It can't be coming off and digging him. There. Good. Set him down. And pet him. Good. Good. Push again. So when you catch and you decide you're going to walk straight, make sure you have a point in mind where you're going.
Okay.
Right? So see here, his hip is not coming around, so go wide. There you go, wide and low. There. See how it makes his hip move? And then you're going to catch, pick a point, and walk to it, and keep that hip up on the line underneath of you. There you go. Good. 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 Just like that. Perfect. Then set him down and pet him. All right? And go ahead and stop. And turn back around. And just look at where you came from, right? Here is the line that you were just on.
Cool.
You see that?
Yeah.
So you had your horse in this position, walking up into this. You see that?
Cool.
So that's what you're looking for. That's your lope shape right there.
Okay.
All right? Before, if you don't have that amount of hip control, you would have just walked this line right here. Right? But now you're walking the line like this.
Okay.
That's what we want. Right?
And
And he's riding with your leg. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then you're walking that line, so he's learning to stay on the pressure.
Okay.
Right? And the reason why I stress, like, don't sit there and do like 40 steps around there. Because if you get your hip too far over, if it gets too soft off that foot, you're going to lose control of it. All right? So imagine you're driving your car, right? And you've got the cruise set at 80, right? And you go to press the gas and there's nothing there. You have no control, right? So what we want is we want you, like if you go through town, you have the cruise set at 55, you kind of feel like you're out of control, right? So I want him kind of leaning on that foot. Don't get him really soft off that, because I don't mind a horse that I got to kind of like push over a little bit. That'll kind of sit over there, because that's my foot on the gas pedal.
Okay.
If you get his hip really far over and he's riding like this, you can't go to the gas at all. So then you're always riding the brake on this side.
Okay.
And that's a terrifying feeling to me. I want a horse that'll kind of lean over here on the gas.
Okay.
All right? So that's why I say just to be steady with that. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't need a ton of control. You just need enough that you can maintain his hip over with a little bit of pressure on it. And everybody's going to have a different amount of pressure they like. All right? So where I keep my horses is different than where Macy likes them. Macy likes them really leaning over on the gas, so she can dig her foot and kind of carry that horse around. Right? And I want to say, you know what? My amateurs can't really follow that. So I need them to be a little bit lighter, so my amateurs don't have to work as hard. All right, until they get good enough with their legs to have that horse sit over there.
Yep.
All right, so you're gonna put him where you like him. Might not be where I like him. The cool part about that is you can kind of untrain that really quick using the hip run moves.
Okay.
Right, you can get him to lean back over here or stay up over here pretty quick once he understands this stuff.
Okay.
All right, but if you're riding along and you're going, wait a minute, I'm loping and I can't put my outside leg on him, you got his hip too far over.
Okay.
All right, it's going too far that way. So it's just 3 tracks is all you're looking for when you move up.
Okay.
All right, so what I want the ability to do is get the 3 tracks, and then to take this maneuver one step forward is to walk forward and roll this way, right? So once you have like, okay, I've got a little bit of hip control, I can kind of go to my leg and push his hip over, it doesn't go forward. Now you can start kind of working both feet and using your ankles, right, and rolling that horse up into it to get him to round onto the line. That's gonna be your show button,
Cool.
right? That'll be how you set him up in a class. So if you were setting him up to lope right here, that you're at a walk, you can come here, you can lift your hands, give him a little bit of this, set him up, roll your feet, get him to do this, and then lope up onto it.
Okay.
All right? And then if you ever lose him, that same button is how you'll fix it. All right, so it's both those feet, roll those ankles up, he should step up, round onto the line, and give you a lope step. Because from then on, you don't want any side to side. Once you decide, I'm gonna show this horse at a lope, the side to side stuff's done. You need to go this way and get bigger on the line.
Okay.
All right? You don't need very much movement.